Dr. Pawar, all the faculty members of the institute, fellow speaker Rahul, and all my dear students. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to be here with all of you this afternoon and to speak to you on a topic which is absolutely very important for the economy of this country. As a matter of fact, I would like to compliment the institute for thinking of this topic for the annual seminar, and my heartiest congratulations and compliments for thinking of the same. When Dr. Pawar spoke to me and when he suggested that we have an annual seminar and we would like you to cover a topic of short-term and long-term implications of GST on the Indian economy, I was just thinking, how can I make my presentation or my discussion with you adding more value to every one of you. And that's how it occurred to me. I know all of you are so young. You are at the threshold of your career. I'm sure many of you are going to be industry leaders, business leaders, and hold very senior positions going forward. And therefore I thought that it would be very appropriate for me to give you a rundown about the India's economic history or India's economic reforms history as to how India has progressed since independence and how we have reached to this point and why a reform like GST becomes so mandatory. So this is going to be my endeavor. For next about 15 minutes, I'm going to first take you through the entire economic history of this country. And then towards the end of it, we would also talk about as to what implications GST is going to have on the economy of the country. I'm told that students of this institute are very responsive, very proactive, and therefore I expect all of you to respond whenever I am asking you any question. Remember, आप लोग देखो लीडर हो और लीडर को सबसे बड़ी चीज जो लीडर को आनी चाहिए वो ये कि वो जवाब देने के लिए हमेशा तैयार रहे। यस और नो? तो आप सब लोग जवाब देने के लिए तैयार हैं? एकदम तैयार हैं? वेरी गुड। तो मेरा सबसे पहला सवाल आप सभी से है, आपको मालूम है जापान कभी आजाद हुआ? When did Japan got independence? All of you. When did Japan got independence? Okay, I will tell you. Japan got independence on May 3rd, 1947. You know when India got independence? Yes. 15th August 1947. Same year? Yes. आपके हिसाब से जापान में और इंडिया में क्या फर्क है? How do you differentiate between Japan and India? They are developed and we are developing it. And I'm so happy that all of you have responded. My next question is, आपके हिसाब से ऐसा क्यों हुआ that we got independence in 1947? Japan also got independence in 1947. How is that Japan became a developed country and we are still developing country? How is that Japan is giving bullet train to us and how is that we are taking bullet trains from Japan? Why? क्या लगता है आपको ऐसा क्यों हुआ? And you can speak louder so that everybody listens to you.
Population can be the reason.
Population, of course, okay, population. Hard work and smart work. Okay. Technology upgradation. टेक्नोलॉजी अपग्रेडेशन जापान में हुआ, इंडिया में नहीं हुआ। उस रेट से नहीं हुआ जिस रेट से होना चाहिए। वेरी गुड।
Geographical extent of the country.
Geography, okay. Geography is it a positive point for the country or a negative point for the country?
Because India being vast, it has more population, more land.
तो ज़्यादा पैसा होना अच्छा है कि कम पैसा होना अच्छा है?
ज़्यादा वेल्थ होना अच्छा है कि कम वेल्थ होना अच्छा है? ज़्यादा वेल्थ होना अच्छा है, ओके। ऑलराइट, माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू ऑल ऑफ यू, आपको क्या लगता है कि अगर किसी देश की इकोनॉमी का बंटाधार करना हो, अगर किसी देश की इकोनॉमी का बंटाधार करना हो, यानी कि उसको डुबाना हो, किसी देश की इकोनॉमी को अगर डुबाना हो, तो आपके हिसाब से उस देश ने क्या करना चाहिए? And I'm going to come to every one of you because remember, all of you are the future of this country, and I'm not going to leave anybody's response. So don't worry about it. Yes, ma'am.
Firstly, try to cover and affect the culture of that.
Wait a minute. And just be crisp in your responses. You know why? Because we have a limited time of 50 minutes and we have a long way to cover.
Yes.
So just be crisp, but at least so that everybody will get a chance also simultaneously.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Culture of that country should be destroyed.
I think all of you must give her a big round of applause. Very good. Very good. What else? Yeah? Corruption. So उस country में corruption होना चाहिए. Very good. और क्या होना चाहिए? कस्टमर अट्रैक्शन होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए? नहीं, हम तो देश की इकोनॉमी को उड़ाने की बात कर रहे हैं, डुबाने की बात कर रहे हैं। तो वेरी गुड, बिजनेस करना इतना मुश्किल कर दो कोई बिजनेस कर ही नहीं सके। पॉलिटिकल इंस्टेबिलिटी, वेरी गुड, पॉलिटिकल इंस्टेबिलिटी।
Digitalization.
Yes. Banking system of the kill the banking system of that country. Yes.
प्राइस बढ़ाना चाहिए।
प्राइस बढ़ाना चाहिए, वेरी गुड। टैक्स बढ़ाने चाहिए, प्राइस बढ़ाने चाहिए। प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी बढ़े या ना बढ़े, लेकिन प्राइस बढ़ाते रहो। आदमी पैसा कमाए या ना कमाए, टैक्स लगाते रहो। प्लीज join your hands and give a big round of applause to every one of you. Very good, very good, very good. So now you understand why is Japan and why is India today. Are you with me?
Yes.
So we did not become Japan because what we did in our country since independence is nothing but all that you have said. And I'm so glad whatever was done since independence was to destroy the culture of this country. And remember, when you destroy the culture of a country, that economy or that country will take a very long time to come up. So let me take you now forward. We got independence on 15th August 1947, at the same time when Japan got the independence. What was the situation in this country? The situation in this country was partition India, agony of partition, economy was in shambles, trade was in shambles, business was in shambles. The only thing that was good on 15th August 1947 in this country, and that was the outlook of people was very optimistic. तो सही मायने में अगर मैं कहूँ आपसे, तो 15 अगस्त 1947 को जब हमारा देश आज़ाद हुआ, तब वाकई में देश के लोग ये सोच रहे थे कि 200 साल की गुलामी के बाद अब हमारे अच्छे दिन आएंगे। अब वो दिन आए कि नहीं आए? Let's see that. The two gentlemen who were at the helms of affairs at that time, one was Bapu. Bapu thought that India must attain self-reliance through tiny sector, small sector, micro sector. तो बापू को लगा कि देश को जो इंडिपेंडेंस और जो रिलायंस हासिल करना चाहिए, it should be through the development of the small sector, tiny sector, micro sector, so on and so forth. The other gentleman who was at the helms of affairs that time, and that was Pandit Nehru. Pandit ji had a different view. Pandit ji thought, no, we should set up big plants in this country and take this country forward by setting up big plants all over the world, all over the country. And you could very easily see कि बापू की thinking में और पंडित जी की thinking में there was a clear-cut difference. But both of them agreed on one thing, and they said, let us become a socialistic country. Let us become a socialistic country. So what we decided? We decided to adopt the socialistic pattern of economy. अब इसका मतलब क्या है जरा समझ के लेते हैं. The meaning of socialistic pattern of economy is the government would tell the public कि देखिए भैया, सरकार भी हम चलाएंगे और बिजनेस भी हम चलाएंगे, दोनों काम हम चलाएंगे. क्यों? क्योंकि सरकार का ऐसा सोचना था, और मे बी द गवर्नमेंट वांटेड टू गिव द impression to the people that if we allow the private entrepreneurship, अगर हम प्राइवेट लोगों को बिजनेस में एंट्री अलाउ कर देंगे, तो गवर्नमेंट का ऐसा सोचना था कि कुछ लोग बहुत ज़्यादा पैसे वाले हो जाएंगे और बहुत सारे लोग इस देश में गरीब रह जाएंगे. अब देखिए, ये थॉट अच्छा है, बट इट डिड नॉट वर्क. एंड व्हाई इट डिड नॉट वर्क? बिकॉज मे बी दो apparently what they meant was something good, but internally what they meant was not really that good. क्योंकि in hindsight ऐसा लगता है कि this was a gimmick played by the leaders at that time to ensure that we keep on coming to the power again and again and again and again. So as a result of the socialistic pattern of economy, what we did no to private entrepreneurship. तो गवर्नमेंट ने क्या कहा? गवर्नमेंट ने इंडस्ट्री से कहा, गवर्नमेंट ने लोगों से कहा कि देखिए भैया, अगर आपको इंडस्ट्री डालनी है तो आप छोटी छोटी इंडस्ट्री डालिए, बड़ी जो इंडस्ट्री वो हम डालेंगे. That means what? That means India, remember, was a huge country at the time of independence also. So when we got independence, the population of this country was 30 crore. And 30 crore means India was a huge country. The demand in this country was huge. But because of the thought process of the leaders at that time, they made Indian economy a controlled economy. And what is the meaning of controlled economy? Controlled economy का मतलब ये है कि आप अपनी मर्जी से कुछ नहीं कर सकते. अगर आपको एक प्रोडक्ट बनाना है तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? गो टू दिल्ली, किसी मंत्री को मिलो, किसी पॉलिटिशियंस को मिलो, किसी फिक्सर को मिलो, किसी ब्यूरोक्रेट को मिलो, उसके जाके हथेली पर थोड़ा मक्खन लगाओ, थोड़ा नहीं बहुत मक्खन लगाओ, and then take the license. And when you take the license, you start producing. And remember, the demand was huge, supply was restricted, and therefore there was huge corruption in this country. Therefore, the products that were available in this country, though the products were of second grade or third grade, but they sold at a premium. And why they sold at a premium? Because demand was huge, supply was controlled. Now this is what was happening. In our country, the word profit was looked upon with contempt. My whole objective of making this presentation is to make you aware as to how we have progressed economically since independence. And why am I doing this is to ensure that tomorrow, whenever there is any discussion on the economy of the country, you should be able to very confidently contribute and participate in that discussion, because you will know as to how the economy of this country has progressed. So in India, the word profit was looked upon with contempt. And let me share with you when I say this as to why do I say this. You know, once Pandit ji and G.R.D. Tata, they were in conversation. तो पंडित जी और G.R.D. टाटा आपस में बात कर रहे थे, तो G.R.D. टाटा ने पंडित जी से कहा, पंडित जी, why don't you allow us to set up this project in private sector? We will make this project extremely profitable. पंडित जी ने मुड़ के जवाब दिया, Jay never ever mentioned this word profit before me. यानी कि मेरे सामने कभी ये word profit मत लेके आओ. Now can you imagine कि कल को राहुल बजाज, संजीव बजाज, मुंजाल, बिल गेट्स, सुनील भारती मित्तल, लक्ष्मी निवास मित्तल, नारायण मूर्ति, आजिम प्रेम जी, tomorrow morning they go to their office and they call all their senior executives और उनको बुला के बोलेंगे, देखो भैया अब तक ठीक था, कल से प्रॉफिट की बात मत करो. Can you imagine that to happen? But unfortunately, this is how it happened in our country. The word profit was looked upon with contempt. So all over the country, what we had PSUs, and all those PSUs were making losses and losses and losses and losses and losses, no accountability, and the government kept on funding those losses from the exchequer. And exchequer meaning what? That money went from the pocket of your parents or your grandparents, my parents or my grandparents. The government gave incentive for being small. अब देखिए आपको एक चीज़ बताता हूँ कि हिंदुस्तान में अब तो नहीं है, जीएसटी के बाद तो वो चला गया, लेकिन जीएसटी के आने से पहले हिंदुस्तान में एक रूल हुआ करता था, और रूल ये था कि गवर्नमेंट विल टेल द इंडस्ट्री कि देखिए सर, अगर आपकी कंपनी का टर्नओवर 1 करोड़ से कम है तो हम आपको एक्साइज ड्यूटी एग्जाम कर देंगे, लेकिन अगर आपकी कंपनी का टर्नओवर 1 करोड़ के ऊपर गया तो फिर आपको एक्साइज ड्यूटी भरनी पड़ेगी। अब देखिए, जो आदमी ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है अपनी फैक्ट्री में, वो कंट्री को हेल्प कर रहा है, वो कंट्री का नुकसान कर रहा है, हेल्प कर रहा है। सो बट द पर्सन हु इज हेल्पिंग द इकोनॉमी ऑफ द कंट्री, व्हाट द गवर्नमेंट इज टेलिंग टू दैट पर्सन, द गवर्नमेंट इज टेलिंग टू दैट पर्सन कि भैया अगर आपकी कंपनी का टर्नओवर 1 करोड़ से कम है, वेरी गुड, अगर हमको एक्साइज ड्यूटी नहीं भरनी पड़ेगी, लेकिन खबरदार जैसे ही आपकी कंपनी का टर्नओवर 1 करोड़ से ऊपर जाएगा आपको भरनी पड़ेगी एक्साइज ड्यूटी। अब दिस इज इट इज लाइक दिस कि कल को आपका भतीजा या भतीजी स्कूल से लौटे और आप उसको बोलेंगे देखो भैया, अगर तुम्हारे मार्क्स 35% से कम आए तो तुमको मिलेगी साइकिल, और अगर तुम्हारे मार्क्स 35% के ऊपर गए तो तुम्हारी होगी धुनाई। तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि बच्चा क्या करेगा। बच्चा बोलेगा ठीक है पापा बहुत बढ़िया किया, दीदी बहुत अच्छा किया, या बुआ बहुत अच्छा किया, बहुत आई एम वेरी हैप्पी। बट रिमेंबर, बिजनेसमैन इज अ बिजनेसमैन। बिजनेसमैन ऐसा नहीं करेगा। व्हाट बिजनेसमैन विल डू, ऑलराइट, जैसे ही उसका टर्नओवर, एंड दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड इन दिस कंट्री, जैसे ही उसका टर्नओवर 1 करोड़ के पास में पहुंचने को हुआ, व्हाट ही विल डू, बिल्डिंग एक ही है, कैंपस एक ही है, पर उसी बिल्डिंग में, उसी कैंपस में ही विल स्टार्ट सेकंड कंपनी। प्रोडक्शन फैसिलिटी भी वही है, सब कुछ भी वही है, 2 कंपनी, आधा टर्नओवर इस कंपनी में एंड आधा टर्नओवर इस कंपनी में, एंड यू थिंक ही वुड बी एबल टू सर्वाइव हिमसेल्फ? द आंसर इज नो। क्यों? क्योंकि कुछ दिनों के बाद द एक्साइज इंस्पेक्टर वुड कम टू योर फैक्ट्री और वो आपसे कहेगा देखिए सर, इसके मालिक कौन है इस कंपनी के? आप बोलेंगे मैं मालिक हूँ। वो पूछेगा इस कंपनी का मालिक कौन है? आप बोलेंगे इस कंपनी का भी मालिक मैं ही हूँ। देन ही वुड से सर, इस कंपनी के मालिक आप हैं, इस कंपनी के भी मालिक आप हैं, देयरफॉर I am not going to treat these 2 companies separately. I am going to combine the turnover of both the companies together, and therefore your turnover is going more than 1 crore, and therefore I am going to levy excise duty on you. So you are a businessman. What will you do? You will ask him कि भैया आपको क्या चाहिए? और वो क्या बोलेगा? वो बोलेगा सर, हर महीने 10,000 रुपये का लिफाफा, ऑफ कोर्स अमाउंट्स कीप ऑन चेंजिंग विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम, हर महीने 10,000 रुपये का लिफाफा मेरे घर पे पहुंचा दीजिए 1 तारीख को, आप भी खुश रहिए, मैं भी खुश रहूंगा, और जो गवर्नमेंट को करना है वो गवर्नमेंट करेगी। So this is how it happened in this country, and please remember what we had from the independence in this country. We had primacy of politics over economics. Right? We had primacy of politics over economics. यानी कि हमारे देश में क्या हुआ? कल्चर खराब किया। क्या कल्चर खराब किया? कि जोर किस पे होना चाहिए था? तो जोर होना चाहिए था टू बिल्ड द इकोनॉमी ऑफ द कंट्री, but the जोर was on the focus was on the politics, and therefore India became a seller's market. So slowly because of all this, India became a seller's market. अब आप मुझे बताइए कि सेलर्स मार्केट में क्या होता है? ऑल ऑफ यू, what do you think what happens in case of a seller's market? सेलर्स मार्केट का मतलब सबको मालूम है। सेलर्स मार्केट का मतलब ये है कि सेलर्स की ही चलती है, यस और नो? बराबर है। और
bargaining power is more at the hands of seller.
Absolutely. So the bargaining power is more at the hands of the seller. So what happens in case of a seller's market? In case of a seller's market, the first thing that happens, you don't feel the need to innovate. Yes or no? क्योंकि आप जो बना रहे हैं is getting sold. Right? So whatever you are making, it is getting sold. So obviously when your product is getting sold without you making any effort, obviously what you will do? You won't do any innovation. And how the customer is defined in case of a seller's market? Customer is defined as कष्ट से मर, यानी कि कस्टमर। मैंने तुमको प्रोडक्ट सेल कर दिया, तुमने प्रोडक्ट ले लिया, मेरे पास पैसे आ गए, अभी काम करे तो तुम्हारा नसीब और नहीं काम करे तो तुम्हारा नसीब। How will consumer be defined in case of a seller's market? The consumer will be defined as consumer. That is consumer. And therefore, what happens in case of seller's market it leads to poor service and poor products. And this unfortunately what happened in our country since independence. Let me give you a few examples of poor service and poor product. You know, हिंदुस्तान में एक समय था जब जैसे ही किसी के घर में एक बच्चा पैदा होता था तो उसके पिताजी क्या करते थे, सबसे पहला काम वो करते थे कि वो जाके ढूंढते थे बजाज ऑटो का शोरूम किधर है, और बजाज ऑटो का शोरूम ढूंढ के सबसे पहले जाके वो वेस्पा स्कूटर बुक करते थे। क्या करते थे? वेस्पा स्कूटर बुक करते थे। अभी आप बोलेंगे कि क्या हिंदुस्तान में आज़ादी के बाद बच्चे इतने एडवांस हो गए कि इधर पैदा उधर स्कूटर चालू? ऑफ कोर्स नॉट। बट व्हाई दे वुड डू दैट? दे वुड डू इट बिकॉज उनको मालूम था कि जब तक बच्चा मेरा 18 साल का होगा तब जाके मुझे स्कूटर की डिलीवरी मिलेगी। ऑल ऑफ यू सिटिंग इन दिस हॉल आर वेरी फॉर्चुनेट। आप कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकते हैं, एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई एम शेयरिंग दिस नॉलेज विद यू, दैट इन दिस कंट्री अ बेसिक प्रोडक्ट, a two-wheeler which you need for transportation in any case, in this country post independence we had to wait for 18 years. And remember, it was not that you could not get it upfront. ऐसा नहीं कि आप तुरंत नहीं मिल सकता था, of course मिल सकता था। The only difference was अगर आपको तुरंत चाहिए, the basic price, the price of the scooter was 8,000 rupees. If you wanted to get upfront delivery, then you pay 34,000. How much? 34,000 rupees. So 32,000 rupees. So that means there was a premium which was thrice the amount of the price of the product that was available in the market. Another example of poor service. हमारे देश में एक एयरलाइन हुआ करती थी, अभी भी है, और उसका नाम है इंडियन एयरलाइन। The service was absolutely pathetic. The flights were never on time. Food was absolutely terrible. Air hostess lesser said better. The service of the airline was so pathetic during those days. उन दिनों में वो कहते थे कि भाई IA का मतलब क्या है? IA का मतलब है कि as soon as you board the plane, IA का मतलब है inform Allah. And then you have another airline called Air India, और Air India के AI का मतलब क्या है? Already informed. You had another airline called Vayudut. People prefer to call it Yamdut, क्योंकि कभी उसका पहिया नीचे तो कभी उसका डोर नीचे, and thankfully they closed that airline. And this is what we were getting as service, as product post independence in this country. But the story does not stop here. You had something called as telephone. You know, आप जो यहाँ बैठे हो, जब मैं आपसे बोलूँगा तो आपको लगता है मेरी बात का भरोसा नहीं होगा, पर मैं आपको बताऊं कि आज जो मोबाइल आपके हाथ में है, जो कि 1 सेकंड में आपको मिल जाता है, हिंदुस्तान में इस मोबाइल को मिलने के लिए लोगों को 15 साल वेट करना पड़ता था। कितना? और अगर आप में से किसी को मेरी बात का भरोसा ना हो तो प्रोग्राम खत्म होने के बाद अपने पापा से फोन करके पूछिए कि पापा, इज इट ट्रू somebody was telling us, and they would tell you yes, it was true. The telephone in this country, a basic instrument of communication, was a premium product, was a status symbol. So in this country, if you had a telephone, you were a big man, and if I did not have a telephone, I was a poor man. हिंदुस्तान में आपको एक चीज बताऊं कि एक समय था कि जब कोई माता पिता अपनी बच्ची के लिए लड़का देखने के लिए जाते थे तो लड़के से बाद में मिलते थे। पहले देखते थे भाई घर में फोन है कि नहीं है, क्योंकि कल को बच्ची से बात करनी पड़े तो कम से कम कुछ तो साधन होना चाहिए। And this was the situation in this country. आज 150 रुपए में आपका महीने भर का बिल पूरा हो जाता है। लेकिन मैं आपको बताऊं कि हिंदुस्तान में एक समय था, और आप आज की तारीख में किसी से भी कहीं फोन लगा के बात कर सकते हैं। विद इन फ्यू सेकेंड्स यू कैन टॉक टू समबडी इन अमेरिका और इन कैनेडा और इन बेल्जियम और इन साउथ अफ्रीका, इन एनी पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। बट हिंदुस्तान में एक समय था कि अगर आपको पूना से कोयम्बटूर बात करनी हो, यू बुक ए कॉल। इफ यू आर लकी यू विल गेट दैट कॉल बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे, and if you don't get that call by the end of the day, the call is cancelled automatically. You book it again next day. अगर आपको और भी अर्जेंट बात करनी है, then what you do? Book an urgent call. और remember, urgent call का ये मतलब नहीं है कि आपको तुरंत फोन मिल जाएगा। urgent call का मतलब था कि डबल द प्राइस। और आपको बताऊं कि there used to be something called lightning call. And when I was a small child, I would always wonder कि ये फोन पे तो बात करना है, और फोन पे बात करने के लिए why they call it lightning call? अब समझ में आता है, they would call it lightning call, क्योंकि जब उसका बिल आता था, you would feel as if you have been hit by a lightning. This was the situation in this country, that you had to wait for 15 years for getting a simple telephone. Indian Railways, the trains were never on time. Never on time. None of the trains were never on time. So one day what happened? A train came on time. So all the people who were there on the platform, they picked up the garlands, started rushing towards the driver of the train. Station master ने पूछा, भाई कहाँ भाग रहे हो? बोले सर ट्रेन टाइम से आई है, उसको माला पहनानी है. स्टेशन मास्टर बोलता है, बेवकूफो ठहरो, 24 घंटे लेट है. This was the service that you were getting. एक आदमी फेड अप हो गया, उसने जाके स्टेशन मास्टर को बोला कि सर अगर आपकी ट्रेन कभी टाइम से चलती ही नहीं है तो आप ये टाइम टेबल प्रिंट ही क्यों करते हो? स्टेशन मास्टर बोला, वो इसलिए ताकि आपको मालूम पड़े कि कौन सी ट्रेन कितना लेट चल रही है. We had something called Doordarshan. The quality of the program was so good that people preferred to call it Dur Se Darshan. Then you of course had everything sold at a premium. Cement was sold at a premium. Urea was sold at a premium. And I'm sure some of you would know this कि यूरिया को लेने के लिए दंगे हुआ करते थे इस कंट्री में. And then of course many products, Hyderabad Elvin, HMT watches, Calvinators, so many products were sold at a premium. So this is what was happening in this country. So what was the outcome of primacy of politics over economics? तो हमने क्या किया देश में? हमने इकोनॉमिक्स पे ध्यान नहीं दिया, हमने पॉलिटिक्स पे ध्यान दिया. हमने किस चीज पे ध्यान दिया? How to come back to the power again and again and again and again. So economics was not a matter of concern for us. देश के लोगों का विकास हो, देश का विकास हो, that was not our priority. Our priorities was how to come back to the power. And remember, and I'm so glad all of you have responded so well. Remember, अगर आपका focus economics पर नहीं है, then you are bound to have problem. Whether you are a family, or you are an institution, or you are a country, or you are a whatever. If your focus is not on economics, you are bound to run into problem, and this is what exactly happened in case of our country. So the outcome of primacy of politics over economics was country remained underdeveloped. हमारे साथ आज़ाद हुआ एक देश डेवलप्ड हो गया, हमको आज बुलेट ट्रेन सप्लाई करता है, and we still are under developing country. Not much infrastructure development, massive unemployment, poverty. Few unscrupulous people gained through corruption and unfair means. No doubt about it. कुछ लोगों ने बहुत पैसा बनाया through unfair means and unscrupulous means. And of course, there was no focus on value creation leads to growth. And this is what all of you must understand, because you are going to join the industry tomorrow. एक चीज पक्का दिमाग में बिठा के लीजिए कि growth will come only when you create value. Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you all with me? Yes. The growth follows the value creation. If you create value, you will get the growth. If you don't create value, you will not get the growth. So please remember, when you join the industry, your focus must be how to add maximum value. But that was not understood in this country. Development of the culture of corruption, hence an urge to earn without efforts. Rampant corruption, ऊपर की कमाई. अब देखो चीज़ बताता हूँ कि जब मैं छोटा था तो मुझे याद है एक बार ऐसी बात हो रही थी, तो somebody, कोई रिश्ते की बात हो रही थी, तो लड़की के पिता ने पूछा कि भाई आपका लड़का करता क्या है? तो लड़के के पिता ने कहा वो सरकारी जॉब है, उसका सरकारी नौकरी है. तो अच्छा उसकी तनख्वाह कितनी है? तो लड़के के पिताजी बोलता है उसकी तनख्वाह में मत जाओ, पर उसकी ऊपरी कमाई बहुत है. This is what was the mindset in our country कि ऊपरी कमाई बहुत है. Growth of unorganized and informal sector and increasing NPAs, non-performing assets, and I'm sure आप में से बहुत लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा और सुना होगा. Day before yesterday, the Prime Minister on the floor of the Lok Sabha said that this country had the NPAs not of 32% but of 86%. इसका मतलब क्या है? Please pay attention. This is what you need to understand. इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर 100 रुपए का बैंकों ने लोन दिया तो उसमें से 16 रुपए वापस आए, 84 rupees did not come back. So that was the NPA, non-performing assets. And if you really ask me, we do not know the quantum of the NPA in this country. The quantum of the NPA in this country can be something about 30 lakh crore. So यानी कि 30 लाख करोड़ लोगों ने simply लूट लिया. Emotional fooling by few self-centered people. Communal harmony was a continuous concern. कभी यहाँ दंगे हो रहे हैं, कभी वहाँ दंगे हो रहे हैं, कभी कोई इस चीज को लेके भड़का रहा है, कोई उस चीज को लेके भड़का रहा है. Lack of competitiveness, higher fiscal deficit financing, and country became completely debt ridden. अब देखिए, please understand, this is what you and I need to understand कि अगर आप प्रोड्यूस नहीं करोगे तो आपके पास में फिस्कल डेफिसिट होने वाली है. यस और नो? आर यू विद मी? तो आपकी जीडीपी कितनी होनी चाहिए? व्हाट शुड बी योर जीडीपी? योर जीडीपी शुड बी एज मच एज यू नीड, इजंट इट? अगर आपको 1 लाख करोड़ रुपया चाहिए और अगर आप 70,000 करोड़ का ही प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हो, सो यू हैव अ डेफिसिट ऑफ, एवरीबॉडी, यू हैव अ डेफिसिट ऑफ 30,000. अब ये डेफिसिट आप कहां से भरोगे? ये डेफिसिट आप भरोगे दो तरीके से. यू विल टेक लोन, इजंट इट? काम तो चलाना है, पेट तो भरना है. सो ऑब्वियसली व्हाट विल यू डू? यू विल बोरो मनी फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, और व्हाट यू विल डू, यू विल प्रिंट द करेंसी. दैट इज डेफिसिट फाइनेंसिंग. सो हम कर्ज लेते गए एंड वी रीच टू अ स्टेज, एंड द स्टेज वाज 1991. मई का महीना था, 1951 का साल था. Chandrasekhar was the Prime Minister and Yashwant Sinha was the Finance Minister. And please pay attention and please don't listen to me only as input about the economic reforms. Listen to me as the input for your future working. Because it is not that we should make mistake and then we should learn. The best thing is somebody is making mistake and we should learn from that mistake. So from 1947 to 1991, what did we gain? We gained, the headlines were, we gained India at the threshold of international bankruptcy. 1947 से लेके 91 तक हमने क्या हासिल किया? हमने हासिल किया इंटरनेशनल बैंक्रप्सी. Our forex reserve were just enough for 11 days. So what do? अगर आप bankrupt हो तो आप क्या करोगे? Do you go and tell the world कि भैया मैं bankrupt हूँ, मुझे माफ करो? No. Remember one thing that India has got a very strong resilient power. So which is that is nothing doing. We are not going to kneel down. We are not going to succumb. We are not going to give up. Let us go to IMF and take the help. So we went to IMF. We approached IMF and हमने IMF से help मांगी. IMF ने कहा all right. We will help you because that is what our job is. But what is the guarantee कि अगर हम आपको कर्जा दें, वो कर्जा हमको वापस मिलेगा, इस बात की क्या गारंटी है? So we told IMF, all right sir, tell us what do you want? IMF told us that if you want us to help you, then what you need to do is you need to give us a guarantee, and the only thing that we can accept from you as a guarantee is your gold. And my friends, 400 metric tons of gold was flown from India. 400 metric tons of gold was flown from India. Aircrafts full of gold flew from India, carrying this gold, taking it to London, placing it in favor of IMF. And against the security of this 400 metric tons of gold, IMF said, all right, we will help you. But then IMF said, no, wait a minute. Your gold is all right as a security, but we are not in the business of money lending. Our objective is not to lend you money. Our objective is that you should come out the crisis that you are in. तो हमने कहा भाई साहब अब आपको क्या चाहिए? And IMF said that what we want now is if you keep on doing what you have been doing all these years, अगर आप अब तक जो करते रहे हो आगे भी अगर वही करते रहोगे, you are not going to be any better. You are going to be deeper in the problem. So we said, all right, tell us what do you want? And IMF said, what we want is you should go for reforms. You should go for, everybody you should go for reforms. और अगर मैं हिंदी में कहूँ तो IMF ने हिंदुस्तान से कहा कि भाई साहब आपको सुधरना होगा. And that is how 1991 onwards we had reforms in this country, right? And that is one phase of the economic reforms of this country. Now my question to all of you is, क्या लगता है आपको, आपके हिसाब से हिंदुस्तान में रिफॉर्म्स का क्रेडिट किसको मिलना चाहिए? Would you like to give it to Chandrasekhar because he was the prime minister when the problem happened, or you would like to give it to Yashwant Sinha because he was his finance minister, or you would like to give it to Narasimha Rao because he was the prime minister soon after Chandrasekhar, or you would like to give it to Manmohan Singh? Now let me tell you, the credit for the reforms of 1991 in this country does not go to any one of them. The credit of reforms of 1991 in this country goes to all the politicians, bureaucrats, businessmen, and I'm talking about the Beiman ones, not the Imandar ones. So the credit of the reforms of 91 goes to all unscrupulous politicians, unscrupulous businessmen, and unscrupulous bureaucrats. क्यों? क्योंकि उन्होंने हिंदुस्तान को इतना लूटा कि कोई चॉइस ही नहीं बची then to go for reforms. So in India, we did not go to reforms in 1991 as a matter of choice. We went to reforms in 1991 because it came as a diktat from IMF. And therefore, please remember, it doesn't really matter as to who was the prime minister of this country at that point in time. Anybody would have been, that person had no choice but to implement the reforms because that was the mandate, that was the diktat from IMF. And therefore, don't give credit to anybody for the reforms of 91 in this country. Yes, P.V. Narasimha Rao should be given some credit for the reforms in this country because I would think that P.V. Narasimha Rao was a man who had some vision, who really has a desire to change the face of this country. And in P.V. Narasimha Rao, we had a good prime minister who could steer the reforms very well. Manmohan Singh, remember, is a good person, but Manmohan Singh by nature is subservient. मनमोहन सिंह बाय नेचर इज सबसर्विएंट. पहले उसने नरसिम्हा राव के अंडर में काम किया जब वो फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर था, और जब वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे तब उन्होंने, आप सबको मालूम है, देखो. सो द क्रेडिट गोज टू लेट्स नाउ लुक एट व्हाट हैपेंड. सो 91 में हमने रिफॉर्म्स चालू किए, ऑफ कोर्स, and things started changing. What kind of change happened in this country? So what you had demolition of license and the inspector raj. So generally गवर्नमेंट ने कहा कि भाई आपको कुछ बनाना है तो आपको लाइसेंस लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप खाली एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता था IME, इंफॉर्मेशन मेमोरेंडम, समथिंग लाइक दैट, तो आप भर के भेज दो और आप कुछ भी बना सकते हो. देयर वाज नो सर्टेन ऑफ कोर्स वर इनटू द नेगेटिव कैटेगरी. जनरली एवरीथिंग वाज नो लाइसेंस रिक्वायर्ड. प्राइवेटाइजेशन ऑफ PSUs. तो बहुत सारी कंपनियां जिसको आप टाटा टेलीकॉम के नाम से जानते हो, दिस यूज्ड टू बी अ कंपनी कॉल्ड BSNL. So a lot of these Indian companies they were slowly were privatized. Implementation of other reforms, WTO regime, integration of Indian economy with the global economy. तब क्या हुआ? दो चीजें हुई, and please pay attention. Number one, we opened up our economy for the globe, and number two, we became member of WTO, and therefore India's economy started getting integrated with the global economy. As a result of that, there was a tough competition, right? Remember, today what we are, today you are in a situation कि अगर आप एक पेन प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, suppose you are a manufacturer of a pen, then remember your competition is not from someone who is making the same pen in Pune or in Maharashtra or in India. Today any product that you make, you have a competition with everybody across the globe. So increasing competition, progressive conversion of Indian economy into a market-driven economy, increase in educational facilities, and this is why, I think आज इस समय हम सबको महर्षि कर्वे जी के लिए जोरदार ताली बजा के उनका अभिनंदन करना चाहिए. He was such a visionary that he laid foundation of this institution 120 years ago. He understood the value of the education. But unfortunately in our country, post 1947, 5 साल तक, for 5 decades, there were only three IIMs and 5 IITs. But post 91, things started changing. Focus on building on overall infrastructure, ever demanding vendor, primacy of politics continued. Political mindset was still the same, and that is the worst thing that could happen. 91 के बाद में हमने रिफॉर्म्स शुरू किया, अच्छी बात है, बट हमारा जो पॉलिटिकल माइंडसेट था, इट वाज स्टिल द सेम. वी वर स्टिल ड्रिवन बाय प्राइमेसी ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स ओवर इकोनॉमिक्स. अभी भी हमारी चिंता यही थी कि भाई कैसे पावर में वापस आए, देश का जो होना है वो होने दो. Corruption continued spreading like cancer. Emotional fooling also continued. NPAs kept on galloping, and yes, we became big. ऐसा नहीं कि हम बड़े नहीं हुए, हम बड़े हुए, लेकिन in what sense? हम बड़े हुए. पहले हमारे जो स्कैम हुआ करते थे वो 100 करोड़ के हुआ करते थे, अब वो हमारे स्कैम 1-1 लाख करोड़ के होने लगे. That was the only thing that we became big in. And the real visionary leadership was still missing. And then what you had, India became a buyer's market. So 1991 के advantage ये हुआ that country started becoming a buyer's market. Now let me ask you once again, because earlier I asked you this question as to what happens in case of a buyer's market. I am asking you different questions. Seller's market. Now I am asking you as to what happens in case of a buyer's market. Everybody. Buyer has a higher bargaining power. Yes, of course. Right? So post 1991, at least some dues started coming to the credit of the consumer in this country. And let me tell you as to how the choices for the consumer in this country underwent a change. A time came, post 1947, you had to wait for 15 years for a scooter or a motorcycle, but there was no motorcycle. 91 के बाद सिचुएशन बदल गई. कैसे बदल गई कि 91 के बाद अगर आपको एक स्कूटर या मोटरसाइकिल खरीदनी होती, you do not have to do anything. Just whisper in the ears of a friend of yours. यार मुझे मेरे लिए एक मोटरसाइकिल लेनी है या मुझे एक स्कूटर लेना है. Now you are just whispering in the ears of a friend of yours, but this whisper of yours will reach to all the scooter manufacturers in this country. Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow Bajaj Auto, Hero, Honda, TVS, Yamaha, all of them will come to know that you want to buy a motorcycle or you want to buy a scooter. So they will be at your doorstep the very next day morning. और वो आप क्या कहेंगे, सर प्लीज बाय स्कूटर फ्रॉम अस. हम आपको इंश्योरेंस फ्री देंगे, हम आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन फ्री देंगे, 4 साल की वारंटी देंगे, आपकी गाड़ी में पेट्रोल मुफ्त भर के देंगे, आपको सोने का सिक्का देंगे, हो सकता है आपको सिंगापुर जाने का मौका मिले, और मे बी यू विल हैव अ चांस टू हैव अ डेट विद प्रियंका चोपड़ा और मे बी विद दीपिका पादुकोण. Now this was the shift in the consumer for the benefit of the consumer in this country. और अगर मैं आपसे कहूँ तो the situation improved so much that you did not even need to buy a motorcycle. Instead of that, what you do, keep using all Clinic Clear shampoo and maybe you will get a motorcycle free. Now this is how we shifted from the 47 and to 91, and my question to every one of you is, what was wrong? What was wrong with the economy of this country from the 1947 to 1991? Was it because of socialism? Was it because of socialism?
So no, not really, because there have been examples of socialism also succeeding. There have been examples of communism also succeeding in the industry. What was essentially wrong was we did not go for one single system. We kept our hands on two of the both systems. We also wanted to be capitalist. We also wanted to secure our own motors. And हिंदी में कहते हैं ना सर, तबला भी मेरा, डक्का भी मेरा. Because of that, we were not able to go anywhere.
Three children and certainly बहुत जोरदार, very good. So please understand, there is nothing wrong with socialism, and this is what you must understand. There is nothing wrong with socialism there is nothing wrong with capitalism and there is nothing wrong with communism either. So if you really ask me, socialism without accountability, capitalism without regulation, and communism without sense of responsibility and urge to make contribution are equally fruitless, useless and dangerous. Meaning what? Meaning socialism did not work in India because there was no accountability, yes or no? The companies were making losses, the PSUs were making losses, and there was nobody to question them as to why are you making losses. Capitalism did not work in US. You know why? Because there was no regulation. I don't know how many of you would remember this or would know this. In 2008, there was a mortgage crisis in America. And why did the mortgage crisis happen in America? The sole cause was because the bankers kept on borrowing without any basis. And why they kept on borrowing? Because there was no regulation. Right? So the capitalism without regulation is dangerous. Communism without the sense of responsibility and an urge to contribute is also equally bad, and that is what happened in case of Russia. The communism failed in Russia because the people in Russia were not responsible enough to contribute. They said कि भाई गवर्नमेंट जो है कम्युनिज्म है तो हमको कुछ काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है, घर बैठ के हमको सब मिलना चाहिए. It doesn't work. Ultimately, you have to add value. No? Okay.